Monday, October 23rd, and 49ers fans, it's October 21st, pardon me. You picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue. That was a brutal, brutal defeat at the hands of a team that continues to defeat the San Francisco 49ers every single time you look up, you look at them, you see what they do. They just lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, and I really mean it. Kyle Shanahan did not meet the moment yesterday when it mattered most. You know, if you're asking me, when did you really know the 49ers were going to lose that game? Well, I thought that they were going to lose the game when it was scheduled, and I saw it was Andy Reid off a bye, and I said that many, many times. Where the 49ers really lost that game, though, was at that two-point conversion. You got a chance to take a game that has not gone well for you, and you are just back to even Steven. Doesn't matter what has happened here. Doesn't matter about the mistakes. Doesn't matter about the turnovers. Doesn't matter. You are back to 0-0 with a two-point conversion, or you can either kick the point after touchdown and still be down by 1, or miss the point after touchdown and still be down by 2. And either way, everyone, including the Kansas City Chiefs, is going to be like, they're scared. That's why I said it's a cowardly moment, because the Kansas City Chiefs, had they been able to dial up that moment, would have asked the 49ers to not go for 2. And I cannot believe that Kyle Shanahan looked at that moment and said, yeah, no, we're good. We can just sit here in the middle of the ring and trade punches with another puncher, and we're going to be fine. Nothing on the dance card was fine at that point in time. Nothing. And Kyle, again, played the Kansas City Chiefs with the type of urgency that you normally play against the Miami Dolphins. It was just a game where the Chiefs clearly wanted to beat the 49ers. I think more than the 49ers wanted to beat the Chiefs, or, who had something to prove. Kyle was like slow playing the game and didn't have an offense that was in any kind of hurry up mode in that second half. And they are, when the Niners fall behind, they are not a very good football team. When the Niners can get in front of you and sit on a lead, they're a very good front running football team. Playing catch up, especially under the conditions that you got no Brandon Aiyuk because he's been hurt, and Deebo Samuel's got a tummy ache, so he's not playing today. Like, this is, you got to play with a greater sense of urgency than the 49ers showed us in that football game, and they deserve to lose it. Hi, I'm Damon. Welcome. Thank you very much for being here. Hit like and subscribe if you would, please. Again, it's a day where everyone is just pissed. It's a pissed off Monday. Why don't you go ahead and make the Monday a little bit better with a delicious sandwich? You can get a free one right now if you sign up for my man Ike's Love Rewards program. Hopefully there is an Ike near you. If there isn't, get to a location where there is an Ike's near you. You will be very, very happy that you did. My man has got a delicious sandwich for you and a chance to win a trip for 2 to New Orleans to see a very large football game that will be played in the Superdome. And I don't think the 49ers are going to be in that game officially. Like, I officially now still have the 49ers as a playoff participant, but a real contender, not with my naked eyes, not what I've seen at this point in time. They're going to have to rip off a week that is much longer than a week. They're going to have to rip off a 2.5 months of excellent football in order to change what I think I'm seeing with my own 2 eyes, and that is they're good, but they remain not good enough. Always good, the Dubliner. It's a great Guinness. It's a fabulous pour. It's a great bar, and I invite you to join us there on November 3rd, starting at noon. We're going to be getting together, watching a bye-week Sunday slate at the Dubliner, hanging out, high-fiving, staying safe with Smiley Dan and all of our friends, and JJ Raider and Rockin' New Era will hopefully be there, and I really hope that you can all make it. I really, really do. I hope you're all doing very well, and you got plans to join me. And if you can't join me, please go and join my friend Larry Kruger at A Pig and a Pickle up in Corte Madera. We had no idea that we were scheduling conflicting events. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. How do you not have Ricky Pearsall just drilling what you think is going to be a wide open 2-point conversion in the last couple of months? Like, Ricky Pearsall has been someone that you can't really count on to be out there for reasons that were, incredibly odd. The guy gets shot, but he was in a non-contact jersey before that even. So, you're off on the side, you're doing your side work, and you're just trying to install the one play when you need it the most. You got it. Apparently not. Apparently not. Apparently, Kyle Shanahan does not have a play that he is, pardon me. Fuck. Hi. Apparently, Kyle Shanahan does not have that one play he is confident that he can run to get him 3 freaking yards when he needs it the most. Why? How? I don't get it. I don't get it. The 49ers defense, in a strange way, even though they got run all over by Kareem Hunt and allowed Patrick Mahomes to pick up way too many yards with his feet as well, in a way, they met the moment in the game. The 49ers held Patrick Mahomes to a passer rating of 44.4, marking the lowest single game passer rating of his career. Patrick Mahomes has never had a more difficult time throwing a football against anyone than he had against the 49ers on Sunday, and the Niners still lost that game. Mahomes' 44.4 passer rating marked the lowest single passer rating by any opposing quarterback since 2019, when Kyle Allen went with a 28.9 rating, and the Carolina Panthers were floundering. I mean, you can't ask your defense to do much more than that against Patrick Mahomes. You can't ask Nick Sorensen and Brandon Staley to slow down a passing game of the Kansas City Chiefs more than that. Unfortunately, this defensive line continues to get pushed around on the line of scrimmage, and Kareem Hunt is just falling forward every single time he touches the ball. Every single time he's touching the ball. And that's where the 49ers got in a lot of trouble in this game. I mean, come on. I just thought that, there are moments. There are moments that you got to step up and meet. And Kyle did not meet those moments. We got ourselves Draymond Burner coming in with the first $2 going into the JJ Raider Ganja jar today. He's like, I'm here for the truth. Give it to me straight, Damon. It's all I do. It's all I do is give it to you straight. And I would fire the special teams coach today. But I've been saying that for 3 weeks. And no, actually, I've been saying that for 4 or 5 weeks. It's not going to happen. Every single way that I told you the 49ers were going to lose this game is how they lost this game. Don't turn the ball over. If you do, make sure that you're not on the wrong end of a turnover differential, which they were. Make sure that when Andy Reid starts picking on Devondre Campbell, you do something about that. Now, that Devondre Campbell did get taken off the field in this game. Just like I said he would. Andy was going to do the depth chart work that the 49ers have been unable to do themselves. So thank you for that, Andy. I told you that they were going to fuck up on special teams. They did. And what I didn't have factored in was that it was going to be an awful day for Brock Purdy as well. And that was as bad of a game as Brock Purdy has played. That was as bad of a game as he's played in his football career. I mean, going back to high school, college, it's as bad as a game as he's had in the pros. It was awful. It was awful, and he knows that. And I don't know if he's covering up for Ronnie Bell, saying that Ronnie broke off that route the right way, and I'm the one who overthrew him. I don't know. I don't know what I believe from anybody's podium moment, lectern moment. I don't know. I don't, if Kyle Shanahan's talking to the media right there, among the first things that I'm not really going to put much credo into. I think that Purdy is enough of a good soldier to never throw a teammate under a bus in public, and he just won't do it. And he is going to wear any defeat as if it's tailored for just him. And that's what leaders do. And that's why I like Brock Purdy. But that was not a good game for Brock Purdy. Still holding on to a sip of the day right there. That was good. I want to go ahead and just let you know that I think that the 49ers can still be a playoff team. But their opportunity to truly, going to win a Super Bowl, I don't know if we're looking at that this year. Now, 10 weeks of football. There's a lot left. There's a lot of season left. But, man, you start looking at the schedule. Man. It ain't good. I don't know how the 49ers are just about to rip off an 8-2, given what we've seen about them so far. They got the Dallas. By the way, you better beat the Dallas Cowboys Sunday Night Football. I mean, this is no longer a negotiable game. This is got to beat the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are desperate and coming off of a bye. So just rolling out there and beating the Dallas Cowboys, it ain't going to be that easy. But the Niners better do it, because then they got a bye week. Then you are on the road for 3 of your next 4 games, going to some of the hardest places in the NFL to win. At Tampa Bay, then you're home against Seattle. Then you are at Green Bay. You are at Buffalo. You have rest disparities in those games. You are then taking on the Chicago Bears. You then get the Los Angeles Rams, which if beating them were so easy to do, they probably would have done it a couple of weeks ago. They did not. At Miami, all right, that's a win. The Dolphins are not good right now. Then you're going to play Detroit, and Detroit is good. Then you're at Arizona, and then you're all out of regular season. Let's count the games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We won't do the 11, 12. Did you know that was the Pointer Sisters, by the way, on Sesame Street? It was the Pointer Sisters who sang that. Are the 49ers about to go 8-2 in their next 10 games? They haven't been able to string 3 wins in a row together. I don't know. That defensive line looks like it is not going to be doing an awful lot to stop anybody's running game from here on out. So, what are we counting on going forward? This is definitely going to work. Okay, here's what you're now hoping for. Here's the only element of, everything's going to be fine. Christian McCaffrey pretends that bilateral Achilles tendonitis is no freaking big deal. The minute he gets on the field, does not get injured. Nobody gets injured from here on out. We haven't seen the George Kittle's got to take a month off yet. That's probably still coming. What are you going to do when you get to that moment? Debo's got a tummy ache. I tell you right now, I think I came up with the right nickname for Debo on Wake Up this morning. Once a month. Seriously, but Debo's nickname should be Once a Month. Because once a month, he looks like a badass, man. Once a month, he is a hell of a football player. The other 3 times in the month, meh. Once a month. The guys who get paid an awful lot of money to make this team go are not making this team go. And Brandon Aiyuk is drifting into the lane of that might be the worst contract, one of the worst contracts we have ever seen the 49ers hand out. And he's now damaged goods. Like, you could tell that with just no offseason, he was damaged goods this year, right? I mean, he just was not good. Week in, week out, was not good. This guy has a contract that is officially terrible. 7 games into a 4-year, $120 million extension that was given to him, predicated on the fact that he is really shifty. He's going to be less shifty now than he's ever been in his entire career. He is damaged goods if this is a torn ACL, which all indicators are this is what we're going to learn today. So they got a player who's got many years of a massive contract remaining on him, who will probably never be as good as he once was. There was no really indication that he was as good as he once was at any point in time this year. And, this guy's game is directly attached to the element of his game that'll now suffer the most because of the torn ACL. Shifty, quick-footed, great in short space, because you can't keep up with him as he's changing directions. You tear an ACL and you're a straight line speed guy, you can still have a robust career. I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is that he's played so poorly to this point in the year that maybe losing him at this point in the year really won't be that devastating, because he hasn't added very much to this point in the year. So Ricky Pearsall, Jacob Cowing, Juwan Jennings, this is your opportunity, guys. You better get it done. What a shame that Juwan Jennings was unable to go in that game. What a shame. I mean, you needed Juwan badly in that game. Michael Hunya. Did Purdy throw a tight ball yesterday, even though half of his throws were intercepted? Which was better, Purley's spirals or Wisnowski's onside kick? Both stunk. Well, here's the thing. This isn't his spiral and stuff. Like, Purdy's not throwing ducks. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how about this? There is legitimate criticisms to be offered today to the point where we don't need to be making shit up. At no point did I feel like the Niners are not winning this game because that's a wobbly football. The problem is not the spiral. The problem is that ball is getting batted down at the line of scrimmage. The problem is Brock Purdy threw among the worst passes he'll ever throw in his fucking life when he's trying to throw it into the end zone after the Cowing underthrow, which had he hit him in stride, that's 6 right there. Purdy throwing interceptions is bad. Purdy throwing a football directly off the back of Dominic Pooney's helmet, that's bad. That's got nothing to do with spiral. Debo's new nickname, it's that time of the month. Mark, no, it's once a month. Once a month. '49er red zone. 30 million, 0 touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, it ain't good. I mean, no matter how you want to chalk it up, it's the contract, which I encourage the Niners to hand out. Again, I was on team pay the guy, sign the guy. I was wrong. Or whatever chance I had to be right clearly will not present itself this year. And now that he's got a torn ACL, if that indeed is the diagnosis, means you might not see it. You might not see it again. I mean, when you pay a guy $30 million, you would hope that you'd get, 20, 30 touchdowns over the course of that contract, but it ain't going to happen. He's 7 games into a 4-year, $120 million extension. The 49ers can opt out of the deal after they paid him $76 million after 3 years, with the structure of the contract basically being a year-to-year deal after that. And it's sad that the 49ers are probably already right now counting the days down to where they can say goodbye to this player because he's not doing enough for them. So it's everyone is pissed off Monday. And I don't blame you for being pissed off today. That was bad. I was just a bad football game. Not going for 2, I thought was a chicken shit decision. I really do. I just thought it let the 49ers and every single fan in Levi's Stadium know when the rubber meets the road, we're looking for the off-ramp. Even if you don't get the 2-point conversion, you're letting the Chiefs know, hey, we're here to play today. Like, we know based on monumental evidence that we're not going to beat you death by paper cut style. We got to be aggressive. Kyle's not aggressive when he needs to be. Kyle doesn't have a hurry-up offense, which is something the vast majority of high school football coaches have installed. Where is this hurry-up offense? Where's the sense of urgency? Where is the sense of, all right, well, we've officially played ourselves into a 2-possession game here, but we're just going to whistle through the woods and la-di-da our way down inside the red zone. And even now, we're now inside the 10-yard line, thanks to this great catch that Jacob Cowing just made. We're going to burn 2 minutes before we even get Brock Purdy to throw an interception in the end zone. What the fuck? Irwin. Special teams flailing every week. All weeks. And I told you that the Chiefs were going to come out and try to take advantage of that very first punt of the afternoon. They ran a sneak, and the 49ers defense did a nice job meeting that moment. They stopped that sneak, but then that's when Brock threw his first pick of the day. So you had a chance to, take advantage of a moment, and they didn't. The 49ers did not meet the moments that need to be met in the flow of a football game to get your team moving in the right direction, to keep your stadium rocking. Kyle did as much to take the wind out of his own sails as the Kansas City Chiefs did. And oh, by the way, when it comes to taking the wind out of Kyle's sails, the Kansas City Chiefs got a secret weapon that is officially the best weapon that Kyle Shanahan continues to run into. But don't take my word for that. That's not a guesstimate. That is a graphic that NFL Network put up earlier today. I saw it on Twitter. I grabbed it, and here it is. Look at Steve Spagnuolo. As Chiefs defensive coordinator, this includes a playoff game, ranked among the 13 teams that have faced San Francisco at least 3 times since 2019. There is no one who drops the 49ers' pants more often than Steve Spagnuolo. Just look at those numbers, man. Look at those numbers. Right? What more do you want? He is number 1 in wins and losses, number 1 in points allowed, number 1 in taking the ball away, number 1 in making sure that you don't go anywhere on third down, number 1 in depressing your passing attack. Game in, game out. Steve Spagnuolo is Kyle Shanahan's kryptonite. And then the other elements of kryptonite in the room being Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, this is why I said that they weren't going to win. And they didn't. You cannot be afraid of moments. And it felt like Kyle was afraid of the moments that might have been the moments that allowed his team to hang in this game against a superior team. And again, the superior team was being depressed by the worst passing day based on passer rating of Patrick Mahomes' career, and the Niners still couldn't do anything with that. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, if the 49ers do, by hook or crook, some way miracle themselves into the Super Bowl, if they meet the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs are going to beat the shit out of them. Yeah, there's no doubt. There's just no doubt. Patrick Mahomes, you can't even measure him with a box score. Every game comes down to 4 or 5 plays that you either do or do not make. Patrick Mahomes makes them every single time in every stadium against any defense in all game plans. He's Mr. Excuse me while I whip this out. He really is. There's a moment in a game where it's either like, hey, if you rise to the moment in this game, you're back in it, or the Kansas City Chiefs are just going to stay in control. And every single time Patrick gets there, he stays in control of that game. The 49ers stay in control of the game. Again, the 2-point conversion and not going for it in that moment, to me, was the ultimate. Oh, so you're not. Do you realize you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs out here? Because you seem to not acknowledge the football game you're in. And, somebody asked on Wake Up, well, why would you ask your team to go for it when, deep in the red zone, you've been struggling all year? Because you got to play the game that's in front of you. Baseball, sabermetrics, analytics, blah, 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 blah. Football is not baseball. Football means sometimes you're going to have to press the fucking issue whether you want to or not. You're going to have to stay aggressive or get aggressive, whether the stat sheet or the numbers or the analytics tell you to or not. You got to ignore that, and your gut needs to tell you what to do. The fact that Kyle's gut said, I'm going to kick the point after touchdown was, I thought, his biggest moment of that was a chicken shit moment. Larry got all over me for saying, oh, you wouldn't call him a coward. Kyle's not a coward in terms of like punched in the face, he runs in the other direction coward. Kyle's not a coward. That was a cowardly decision in a football game where you shouldn't have operated like that. Everyone's got an awful lot of reasons why the Niners lost this game, and it feels like pointing at the Kansas City Chiefs and respecting them is the least available instinct to 49er fans. Let me tell you, when Kyle Shanahan lays down at night and he closes his eyes and he dreams about the team he wants to be one day, he wants to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Every team in football wants to be the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the standard bearer of excellence in this league right now. They got better players. They got better coaches. They get better effort week in, week out. They were the team that played like it had something to prove by finally beating the San Francisco 49ers. You know, that's the mountain we cannot climb, but today is the day we will refuse to lose. And the Kansas City Chiefs came out and played like the team that can't get over the hump, not the 49ers. Andy Reid and the Chiefs are everything that Kyle Shanahan wants the 49ers to be. That's the bullseye. That is the standard that the entire league is shooting at. And the 49ers keep missing the target. And the hand that holds the gun is Kyle and Brock. And yesterday, Kyle and Brock were this. Shaky shooters. Very, very shaky. They could not hit the bullseye. They probably didn't even hit the target. So just as it's a bad afternoon of football, and it leaves everybody so uninspired going forward that it's hard to imagine everything at the end of the year looking fantastic now, right? I mean, it really is. It's hard to imagine that when it's all said and done, the team you are in December is the team you got to be. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I really now see a world where the Niners lose Sunday night to Dallas and then drop, go to 2-2 in their next 4 games at Tampa Bay, Seattle, at Green Bay, at Buffalo. You could be 1-3 in those games. Whether you beat Dallas or not doesn't even matter at that point if that's what you do. Again, the schedule right now, it's in its gauntlet. King of the Golden State. Skipping on the 2-point conversion was the biggest what the fuck of the game. It was so simple math. Every time Kyle faces Kansas City, he goes from Bill Walsh to Jim Tomsula overnight. Look, Jim Tomsula was better than Chip Kelly. Use Chip Kelly as the guy that you can't get better than. But you're right. Kyle, in the moment where the rubber feels like it needs to meet the road, is, again, pulling off the road. I know that the logic, I'm sure, is, well, there's a lot of football game left here. We don't need to go chasing those points right now. Blah, 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 blah. And I think that it's wrong. I think it's wrong. I think failing on a 2-point conversion brings you closer to winning than a point after touchdown, which leaves you 1 point shy, gets you. I think not converting the 2-point conversion is better than converting the kick. And of course, the kick was missed, as if the football gods were just basically leaning into Kyle's ear and going, "You made the wrong decision, buddy. You made the wrong decision." And this is the football gods telling you that was one pussified move. Didn't it? Didn't it feel like that? I don't know what you can do to change the arc now of this year. Greg Johnson saying, "Hey, man, Joan and payroll would have called a better game yesterday." Yeah, dude, Jones got her shit together. But sometimes the other team is just better than you. And with zero reservation, the Kansas City Chiefs are better than the 49ers. The 49ers, quite frankly, ain't even in the league of the Kansas City Chiefs. And that was a banged up, not as good as they used to be Kansas City Chiefs team, which is still somehow, some way 5-0. Or no, excuse me. 6-0, 7-0, undefeated is the word I'm looking for. So, I could sit here and just harp on it and say, find a different clever way to say the same thing over and over again. But here it really is. In summation, after losing to the Kansas City Chiefs, you all out of mulligans. That's it. That's it. The opportunities to say, "Oh, that one got away from us," but plenty of season left. You're running out of that now. It is hair on fire, pin your ears back, and you better go 8-2, 9-1, And if you want to be a playoff team that anybody's worried about, you better be the division winner that's going to be at home for at least one of these games. Bad game by Kyle. Bad game by Brock. It wasn't a great game by the defense, but the defense, for the most part, did its job because the defense had to suppress Patrick Mahomes for the most part. And for the most part, they did. They turned him over multiple times. And the 49ers were still -1 in the turnover category. You know, you can't do that. You cannot do that if you want to be a team that everybody fears. And I think that the 49ers are still a very good football team, but a team that is just feared, a team that everyone looks at as like the immovable object that they're not going to be able to get around, that day is gone. You know, I wrote this down because I wanted to get it right. I didn't want this to be emotional. I didn't want this to be a gut reaction. But afterwards, after last night's game, and by the way, if you joined us for the live watch party, thank you very much. That's one of the largest watched live streams that I have done since coming here to YouTube. Thank you very much. We got a really nice bump in subscribers, had a great day of super chats. It was a good day for the channel. I'm sorry, it had to be a bad day for the Niners for us to have a really good day for the channel, but we're going to be doing another watch party this coming Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys. That's how much fun that watch party was. So thanks to everyone who showed up, attended, was generous with super chats and all that stuff. Really means a lot. Thank you. And after all that was done, and I talked for basically uninterrupted 4 hours, I still had a few things in my mind, and I wrote this down. I just want to read it to you. All is not lost. They are still going to be a playoff team. I really believe that. But they're no longer a control your own destiny football team. The 49ers now need things to happen to win a football game that aren't even dependent on them making them happen. The 49ers now need their opponent to make mistakes to win football games. They just can't go out there and bully their opponent and just dominate physically so superiorly that they are definitely going to win this game. It's not who they are anymore. They're a playoff team, but their chances of being NFL champions this season, that window isn't even cracked open. It's a sliver. It's a sliver. And unfortunately, the window pane is moving in the wrong direction. Sancho Page says, you know, we will make the playoffs because of the bad division we're in. It's still early in the season, and the road to the Super Bowl will be on the road. I do agree that Kyle and John's seats need to be warm. Well, I don't know, call it a malaise, call it a, comfortable. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's officially time to say, like, when you reach the final boss, I can't help but notice you keep on losing. Not that Kyle needs to be told that. He knows that. I still think he's a pretty damn good coach, but man, when it comes to meeting a moment and feeling a game, I don't think he felt that game the right way at all. Big Tone 707, RD actually gives Pat issues offense can't help. I think you're talking about Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, look, the defense in a weird way did its job. I mean, they still didn't play great. They still had Kareem Hunt running all over them. But the job of the day was don't let Patrick Mahomes beat the shit out of you. And as a matter of fact, they held Patrick Mahomes to his worst passer rating ever, which means nice job. But still, Mahomes is able to put the 3, 4, 5 plays together that he needs to, keeping the ball on third down, making sure that his team delivers in the red zone. That run where, D. Winters pulled up on him and he went another 15 yards down the sideline. Like, oh, man, you can't let him do that. Eamon report says, would you put Kyle on the hot seat with a loss to Dallas? I'll tell you right now, Kyle's not getting fired this year. He's not. But the situation and the temperature of the season changes dramatically with a loss to Dallas. Kyle missing the playoffs this year would have a hot seat waiting for him next year that he could get hotter with failure or play himself back to room temperature with success. But a loss to the Dallas Cowboys might make the way John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan look at this roster construction and think it's time to do something different. Are you going to be buyers, sellers, trade deadline? What are you going to do there? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't give up any future assets to make this season better. And that's why I say Hassan Reddick is the guy that just cost money to sign him. Is he the perfect, no doubt about it, going to pick to click? No, but there's nothing guaranteed at this point in time of the year. This is the team you got. Everyone's in the boat. You're sailing. It's hard to add somebody else to the boat right now. Even at the trade deadline, it's going to make that big of a difference because I would not be giving up future assets with Brock Purdy about to make $55 million. Space Cowboy. Thank you very much, Cowboy. 49ers are a tough watch right now. Will likely make the playoffs, but without home field, really don't see a deep playoff run. Yeah, that's kind of where I got them too right now. That's kind of where I got them right now. Deep playoff run. And those are some real rose-colored glasses you'd have to put on to see that. By the way, Michelle, it's been a while since we've seen you in here. I'm glad you're okay. I was worried I was going to start calling, hospitals, police departments. Has Michelle been arrested? Is Michelle in a coma? Good to have you back, Michelle. I agree that Kyle went for the point after touchdown instead of the 2-point conversion. It showed the Chiefs that they weren't going to meet the moment. They had nothing to lose going for that. I agree. Man. See, it's not just me, Michelle, even Chef A. Where have you been? I mean, it's not like the day got worse when it was over. It's not like the Dodgers reached the World Series. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. Dodgers in the World Series. Shohei Ohtani's hitting .818 with runners in scoring position. It's insane. With runners in scoring position, Ohtani is 18 of his last 22. You can't do that on PlayStation. Set the rookie. Reddick came to an agreement with the Jets. Today? No, like right now? Did that just happen while I was on the air? Hold on. Let me go front page of ESPN.com because if he did that, that would be, do I see Reddick? Don't see that. I'm going to click on NFL headlines just to make sure. NFL, home. Do I see? I don't see anything that says Hassan Reddick is signed with the Jets. I did see Aaron Rodgers pick his nose and eat a booger. I did see that. What happened yesterday? Did I miss it? Okay. Well, then you're fucked. Is there one of us who hasn't eaten a booger in their life? I mean, everybody's had at least one, right? Everybody's tried one booger in their life. I would suggest, though, that when you are an NFL quarterback and the camera's going to be on you at all times, that's the wrong time to be eating boogers. Even like stalactites that you clear out and you think you got it smooth. I mean, I've eaten a booger. I'll admit it. I'm not afraid. But you're never going to catch me eating a booger. I can tell you that. I'm never going to eat a booger on YouTube. No way. No way. Did he really? Yeah. It's like in Caddyshack. Be like, hey, Spalding, do you think he's going to eat the booger? Yeah, he must have been hungry. That was a tough afternoon of football. That was awful. Again, with Deebo Samuel, look, you're sick, you're sick. If you're sick, go home. Don't get anyone else sick. If you're sick, go home. If the 49ers should have looked at Deebo, said, well, you put your uniform on today, you came out here and you got to go, get the fuck out of the stadium, dude. Don't get anybody sick. If you're that sick, if you're so sick that you can't play, then you're too sick to be here. Beat it once a month. It was just, it was a bad day. It was a bad day all around. And if the truth is that, you're asking way too much of Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Cowing and Juwan Jennings when he's healthy enough to start playing again. If that's what you got to go forward with, you better figure that out. Because Deebo doesn't look like he gets separation anymore. And Brandon Aiyuk is a shell of what he used to be. If every lesson or every game gives you lessons and every season is a sequence of lessons that you better start applying to future seasons, one of those lessons that the 49ers better take with them is you better not have holdouts anymore. Because when dudes hold out, they are not good. I mean, go and correct that mistake. Don't ever let a guy hold out for the entirety of training camp in a preseason ever again, especially in a year where you're trying to win a Super Bowl. What did the 49ers gain by allowing these holdouts? And by the way, Trent Williams, be better. Just be better. Eamon report again coming in here. Since this is likely a one-and-done playoff team, I would shop Charvarius Ward for a little cap relief. Kyle needs to be forced to bring in an offensive coordinator in 2025. I'm not sure I disagree with any of that. But I'm also not giving up a starting corner. I'm not. You can't trade that guy. You can't trade that guy and just be like, we're just going to trade our starting corner, but we're still going to be a playoff team. I wouldn't do that. But you lose to Dallas, that might change the way you look at it. It was a totally uninspiring day of 49er football. And we'll see whether or not they will put a level of performance on the field against Dallas that will re-inspire anybody. And again, I'm just telling you right now, like you run into the Chiefs in the next Super Bowl, you're going to lose it. I guarantee you. You're just not beating that team. Better than you is the best way to describe the Kansas City Chiefs and 49ers relationship. They are better than you. Can't all be wrong, right? Got to be something positive to take away out of the game. Well, Malik Mustafa is a heat-seeking missile. I'm happy with the way he played. Ricky Pearsall made his professional debut. Hopefully, there's just more of him being effective as the year goes along because you're going to need him. I like that. Jordan Mason did play better as the game went along. I thought Diamador Lenore is now the guy who is the best corner on this team. Diamador Lenore played well. But just it's a kind of game that makes you go, well, there isn't as much there as I had hoped, is there? A lot of season left, but actually there isn't. The only thing that is left are games you better win. So I don't know if we can describe that as lots of season left. All right. There it is. I'll tell you what's going to happen on Tuesday, because I'm not just going to kick the 49ers in the dick every day this week until they play the Dallas Cowboys. What's going to happen on Tuesday's show is we're going to have Cyrus Satsis join us, and we're going to take a little look at the coming Warriors season, which begins on Wednesday. The Warriors are going to be here before you know it, so we're going to talk a little Warriors hoops tomorrow on the show. Start looking at some World Series-ish. Go Yankees. You don't want the Dodgers to win anything, but the Dodgers, I think, are going to win the World Series. And there you go. This was a week where the Niners had something very big in front of them, and if they got it done, it was going to change the feel of the entire year. They did not change that feel. As a matter of fact, they reinforced everybody's greatest doubts and concerns. And that ain't good. Eat it, Ikes. Yeah, definitely eat it, Ikes. Don't eat boogers. Eat it, Ikes. That should not be the restaurant's official slogan, by the way. Joseph says Kansas City will win their third straight Super Bowl. I'm not going to argue with you. I will not argue with you. Indiana University better at football than the 49ers. And game day is coming to Bloomington. Game day is going to be in Bloomington. And unfortunately, our starting quarterback has a thumb issue, but Trace Jackson Davis's younger brother will be starting for IU this coming weekend against Washington. And if Indiana wins that, they're 8-0. Holy shit. Here's something I've never said out loud. Indiana's 7-0. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I would 100% make Kirk Cignetti the highest paid coach in the country right now. Make sure nobody comes for that guy, because Florida State's going to come after him. If Dabo were to get fired at Clemson, everyone in the world who needs a great coach is going to be coming after Cignetti. I was so happy on Saturday. I was so happy on Saturday. True Blue Forever says, Damon, it sucks that you dumped your alma mater. No, here's the thing. So I was looking at USC, and I was going to do that, but then I said, no. We're going to give Cignetti one chance here. So I had a wandering eye. I did question this marriage, but I'm still married to Indiana, and now more than ever before. We just went on a honeymoon. Sex was great. Food was delicious. We're happy. We're happy. Indiana and I are happy again. By the way, I did see, and this was great, USC and UCLA are both 1-4 in the Big Ten. Now, UCLA was never a very good football team, but USC, I told everybody, I'm like, I even texted my old producer Lucas saying, "You enjoying the Big Ten?" He wrote back, he's like, "No." USC, and this is a tweet that somebody had. I can't remember who it was, but I'll say it as if it were mine. USC thought it was going to come into the Big Ten and be Michigan and Ohio State. They are beach Purdue. USC I'll tell you, somebody had a number on USC that was something else too. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Oh, I don't think I have it, but basically, you remove the Pete Carroll era from the USC Trojans, there's not a lot of there. And right now, Lincoln Riley is closer to getting fired than making sure someone else wins the Heisman Trophy. What else we got going on here? I think we've gotten through our supers. Again, thank you very much. Thanks to everyone for watching, for looking, for listening. We will thank our sponsors one more time, but we got a little history to talk about. Are you ready for your history lesson of the day? Give you something else to think about other than complaining about the Niners? Here's your history lesson of the day. First of all, today in history, October 21st, 1980, Kim Kardashian was born. She is 44 years old today. Kim Kardashian is equal parts an incredibly impressive woman who has carved a career out of nothing into billionaire status, and you can't complain about that. She is also one of the most vapid, horrific influences on society we have ever seen. And, So, thanks, Kim. Happy birthday. Today in 1520, we're going way back for this one. Today in 1520, Ferdinand Magellan, which I always like it when somebody takes a wrong turn in a car or goes the wrong way or misses their exit. My go-to has always been, nice job, Magellan. I always loved when somebody screws up a direction. Nice job, Magellan is one of my go-tos. Anyways, Ferdinand Magellan and his 3 Spanish ships entered the strait that was later named after him, the Magellan Strait. And it was between the mainland tip of South America and the island of Tierra del Fuego in the Pacific Ocean. And from there, he was able to circumnavigate the globe. So today is the day that Magellan basically got his Apple Maps or his Google Maps, and he found a way to circumnavigate the globe, which a portion of the country will still tell you is flat because we're all in our information silos of buffoonery. I also am very happy that we got the island of Tierra del Fuego into today's show. Today in 1797, one of the first frigates that the U.S. ever built with a little metal, not just made of wood. It was called, they called it Old Ironsides. But it was basically the day that the U.S. Navy went from wooden ships to metal ships. So congratulations to Old Ironsides. And by the way, today in 1833, a Swedish chemist who is so guilt-ridden for coming up with the formula that created dynamite, was so guilt-ridden by the destruction that he hath wrought on the planet with dynamite, that Alfred Nobel decided that he was going to create the Nobel Peace Prize. And that happened today in 1833. And if there is one thing I could wish on all of you is a little peace today instead of the anger that you're feeling about 49ers football. But that was a bad loss. That was a really, really bad loss. As bad of a game that you've seen Brock Purdy play, as bad of a coaching performance as you're going to see out of Kyle Shanahan. And it was just depressing all the way around. I know a way to feel better. You go to Ike's, you get a delicious sandwich. If you get a delicious sandwich, you sign up for that Ike Rewards, and that sandwich will be free to you. Oh, yes, you get a free sandwich when you sign up as a newcomer of the Ike's Rewards program. You get a chance to enter a contest that could send you to New Orleans for a very large football game in early 2025, so I suggest you do all of that. Come to the Dubliner to join us, please, for Plus Mania 5, the Plusening. It's going to be happening at noon on November 3rd. We're going to be at the Dubliner in West Portal. Hopefully a lot of people are planning on coming out and joining us. We're going to get together. We're going to hang out. We're going to drink some beers. We're going to eat some hot dogs, and we're going to watch some football, stress-free football, because it's a 49er bye week. And I'll just tell you right now, if you're looking to make that right play, why don't you check out our good friends at BetUS, 150% sign-up bonus, and when you use promo code YouTube150. Up to $2,000 in your first signing bonus, 150% deposit bonus in your first deposit, up to $2,000. And then in your next 2 deposits, up to 125%. So there you go. We thank everyone who sponsors the show. We thank everyone who offered a super chat up today. We thank everyone who was just in the chat today. I thanks everybody who was with us for the live stream, which, again, I had a lot of fun during that live stream. I probably would have been more pissed off on that post-game show, which was a part of the live stream. Thank you to everyone who came out to support that. I hope to be able to thank you in person at Plus Mania 5, the Plusening. And in the meantime, I wish you the very, very best. Michelle, you were right. Those hot dogs were great, man. That really was. It was great. Good hot dog. Everyone likes a good hot dog. That was a great hot dog. Chef A went out and bought me a hot dog. Sad performance. Sad performance. It's a put it behind you and move on league. That's what the Niners' job is to do. Put a devastating loss behind them and move on to the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are going to be desperate as shit coming out of a bye week. A Sunday night football game ain't as in the barn as you thought it might be. Not even close. It's an any given Sunday league, and we now know that any given Sunday, the 49ers can be beaten. That's who they are. They're a team that has more of a lay down to die factor going for them than I thought that they would. You know, they can beat the low-hanging fruit in the league. They can beat the middling teams. But when it comes to trading punches with the best of the best, the Niners are not I don't know how many, best of the best games they'll be favored in going forward. Kansas City bet, they're looking at it. That was easy money, man. That was easy money. Go to Bet US. Thanks so much for tuning in. Great to have you here. Cyrus talking a little basketball, some Warriors, some other things than just kvetching about how bad the Niners were. That will be waiting for you at 11 o'clock on Tuesday. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.